one and all, and welcome back to another thrilling episode of Off the Dome. I'm your humble interviewer, Jordan Brown, and with me for the very first time is our Housewives historian. Say hi, Housewives historian.
Hello. How
Glenn,
are you?
Thank you so much. I'm so good. I think we have a delay because as soon as I hit recording, there immediately had to be one in classic form of everything I do on here.
You know how in Sex and the City they say that like the fifth character is the city? I think in your podcast, like the third guest is technical difficulties. That's your third guest.
I think you're right. Yeah. The beautiful thing about it will be because Riverside is recording locally, it will like sync up. So your answers will come. There won't be like a long pause after I ask a question. Your answers will come immediately. Like you're right on top of it. And then when you finish answering, there will be a huge pause where it looks like I don't know how to like communicate with people. Because for me, that's where the gap will go. Anyway.
Well, that's great. It's coming in fine for me. So this is awesome.
Great. Yeah. Glenn, thank you so much for being here. You've got the books behind you, but in case people can't see them, Mom's way worse than you. Dad's way worse than you.
Thank you.
Help Now. So fantastic.
Thank you.
But I think the most important thing...
I was saying
go ahead.
My publisher suggested that whenever I am on my computer, I have my books in the background. So that's why they're very like conspicuously placed among my board games. So that's just wanted to tell my publicist I'm being a good author.
Yeah, look, I will say the same thing. Yeti, if you want to sponsor me, I will cheat out to camera and drink every single time. Like, just send me the check. Marcus Jordan and Larsa Pippen. They broke up off camera. What are we doing?
Hey, this is really annoying to me, and I don't know. I know that they live their lives and things happen when they film what, 3 months out of the year, 4 months out of the year, maybe. And I know that things happen off camera, that they're just living their lives. But this trend of literally the most interesting thing happening while you're not filming is so annoying. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the Scandiballs happening off camera. I'm sick of the Mo and Kyle divorce happening off camera. I'm sick of Dorit getting robbed off camera the multiple times. I'm sick of Kyle I'm sick of all of this. I'm sick of Juan cheating off camera. It's infuriating.
Look.
That's it. That's all I have to say.
At this point, I should come clean. I've never seen an episode of The Real Housewives. I am obsessed with Larsa Pippen and Marcus Jordan because it is the wildest thing imaginable. And I also have a crack staff of researchers in that I text a friend of mine and say, hey, send me Housewives questions. So I've got some real doozies for you. The answers will just mean nothing to me.
I feel like I just talked at you and you were like, just very politely nodding your head. Mm-hmm. You're such a good interviewer.
I've done this with Christina before, and it is exactly how it went that time too, where she was just like a thing, and I was like, got it. But now this will at least give you some context of like, So here's my I just have questions ready for you.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Real Housewives of Atlanta. Why would Portia make her big return announcement using her new married name and then moments later divorce the guy? What's going on there? Can't we watch her marriage fall apart on TV like we want?
Yeah. So here's the thing about Portia. I saw her on a plane recently to Atlanta, and she is so beautiful in person. I felt like Aphrodite was walking on the plane. I was like, oh my God. And she just walked by and was smiling. And I was like, should I say something to her? Of course, I'm a coward. I would never. And also, I don't want to bother this woman. As much as I love her, she is one of my favorite housewives of all time. I cannot keep track of the marriages. It's honestly, I would love to see a whole, like a taxonomical chart of like whose friend is whose and who is what or whatever. But, I could not tell you the last 3 men she's been I don't know. But I want to see it on camera.
Right. That much,
Please.
yeah. When I was texting my friend who writes my questions for me, she was like, "It's a nightmare right now. There's this huge break that we're gonna have with like no shows out because I didn't understand why, and then like all these things are happening off camera all across the like entire Housewives spectrum, and it's what are we doing, gang?"
And then now there's this thing of like the most interesting things happening on the shows. You know, the whole Caroline Manzo, Brandy Glenn. Well, you might not know, but for listeners who enjoy this sort of thing, Caroline Manzo, Brandy Glanville debacle, like they aren't even airing now the interesting things that happened during filming because Caroline Manzo, I guess, is suing Bravo because she felt sexually assaulted on, like, I mean, it's good. Like, people should be, you know, standing up for themselves, but like, we're not, I think Bravo's just getting sued into not being able to make shows anymore. I think that's what's maybe happening. I just want to see people destroy their own lives.
It seems bad.
I have one vice, and it is reality television. One vice. But just, that's all I want to see is people making bad decisions and then watching their lives implode. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say, like, as someone who doesn't watch, I shouldn't say I've seen no episodes. I've seen one episode. And I instantly am going to forget everyone's names. The woman who has a fake leg and took it off and threw it.
Aviva Drescher.
Oh, thank you. My wife was watching. That's New York, I believe, right?
Yes. Pre-New York.
Great. Yes. So my wife was like in like a catch-up phase of New York a while back, and I knew that happened in the finale because I'm very online.
Yes.
My wife, not at all online, didn't know it was coming. Yeah, absolutely. And so like my wife didn't know it was coming, so I was like, "What episode are you on?" And she was like, "I'm in like 15 or whatever." And I was like, "How many are there?" And she's like, "There's whatever 18." I'm like, "Cool, I'll be back in 3."
Yes.
Like, I would like to watch the most poorly set up, the only thing fake about me is my leg, when no one called you fake, to try it, like just waiting for the moment and then it didn't land. Like, beautiful.
It's like, that's a thing I miss about the old guard, is that they were all so gullible. Like, producers could sort of just like make them do whatever they wanted, but also in a way where they were excited to do whatever they wanted with no, like, they were so not media trained, and they all just looked however they looked, and like either bad plastic surgery or good, like they were how they were. And so you're never going to get another Sonia Morgan, who's like, you know, famously one of the most wild people, say the most crazy things you ever heard. And now I just feel like, especially with like the younger sort of like millennial, like the Summer House crew and the like Southern Charm crew and like the Vanderpump, like they're all getting too young and they're getting too savvy, and it's just a bummer. You can just tell. And Aviva was like pure, like, "Oh, you think this is really good?" Like, somebody gave you this line and you're such a bad actress, you can't learn how to make this look natural. And it was just perfect. So cringe.
Yeah.
The cringe was good.
Yes. You can't wait for someone to call you fake to actually deliver the line properly. You're just going to jump at the moment you think you've got it.
Yes. Perfect. Yeah.
Speaking of Vanderpump, talk to me about Katie and Schwartz both dating Shiana's former nanny. I don't know if I named any of those people correctly.
Okay, now I want to do a totally different interview where I just give you the written names of people in the Bravo universe and you pronounce them. So
how far off was I?
So Shiana? No, it's Sheena is just her name, but you calling her Shiana is so funny.
Yikes.
She would jump off a bridge if she
there's
heard you say
there's a C in there.
Sure, yeah. Yes. Sheena, yes. Sorry, what was the question? I was so delighted by your mispronunciation.
Another like staple of me online is I don't know how to pronounce things.
That's so funny.
I once said Glasgow instead of Glasgow, and ooh boy, did I hear about it.
Whatever. That's geography. Who cares?
Yeah. Talk to me about nanny. Katie and Schwartz both dating Sheena's former nanny.
Yeah, so again, I think her name is Tori, from what I remember, with like 2 I's or something, or maybe 3 R's, I have no idea. but she's like this young, like media savvy, like knows how to look good on camera. Her eyebrows are fully done. She's got the glow. She's got the lips done. Like, it's interesting, but it just feels a little, manufactured to me. Feels like she knows what's going on. She's really charming on camera in a way where you're like, did you take acting classes? Like, you know, she seems like she could be an actor in like a good way. We're like, oh, you know how to work a camera. You're good at this. So yeah, it's sort of fun, but again, I'm like, well, okay, which you wanted this. All right. It feels a little set up to me. It's a whiff. So
fair.
Yeah.
So I will say, I will say, like, I am genuinely obsessed with the Larsa Pippen Marcus Jordan thing because I'm 40 years old, so very much like the right time frame for a child watching the Bulls in the 90s.
Wow.
I am 40. Thank
in
you.
a good way, in a good way, you look 14. Maybe you were 14.
Happily take that.
Your skincare routine must be 4 hours a night. You look great.
I very much appreciate it. Yeah, there was a very long chunk of my life, like 20s and 30s, when people thought I was a teenager, and I was like, I hate this. And now I'm like, give it back, please.
Oh my God. Isn't it great? Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I've spent so many hours trying to find pictures of Scottie Pippen's wedding because I'm like, Marcus had to be there. He was like he was an old enough child that like Michael for sure had to be there, right? Like it had to be like the wedding of the Chicago wedding, huge. And everyone I just can't find any because, of course, if you search like Scottie Pippen wedding, it's just story. Yeah, pictures of like, is Larsa Pippen gonna marry Marcus Jordan? I'm like, just let me have the old pictures.
Wait, do you know how old Marcus was when she got married to Scottie? That's got to be readily available. I don't know it off the top of my head.
I don't know. He was like 7 or 8, I think. Like absolutely. I will look up because they got married in 1997. Because I am very seriously obsessed with this.
So how old is Marcus now?
He was born in 1990, so he should have been.
Oh my God! So he
should have been 7. So like, if it's a no kids wedding, then obviously he's not there. But he had to have been bouncing around like some family event, like team events, right?
To me, it feels like Larsa would not have had a no kids wedding. She feels like an everybody should be there type of person.
Mm-hmm.
That just doesn't feel her vibe. Maybe after she had kids, but she's like very family oriented, like my children, my children, my children. So, oh my God. So he must have watched this woman who also just looks nothing like the woman he's with today. I mean, photos of her unrecognizable.
Right, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about. I don't feel like excellent about an age gap that big, I guess. I don't know how I feel about age gaps in general. What is your opinion? Like, I guess like fine, go with God or whatever, but
yeah, I mean, she didn't date him when he was 7, so
no,
that feels better, right?
Well, I have very strong opinions about that, and they were not what you'd think.
Right, yes. Breaking news. Emmy-nominated writer.
Glenn Boozan, not into pedophilia. Breaking news. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, once they get like past a certain age, it feels fine. But
post 30, I don't know. I'm like, I don't care.
Everything about it's weird. Yeah,
it is so interesting.
I'm every time they break up, Christina sends me the DM like from whichever like Bravo Betches like Instagram account has posted it, and every time I'm
something. Yeah, I know.
Yes, I'm just I want her to be Larsa Pippen Jordan. I want it so bad.
I mean, talk about collecting rings. Of all Pippins and Jordans, she's been doing the best. My God, that's a talent. A lot of people can play basketball. Not everybody can fuck the 2 greatest basketball players of all time. or one of them's and one of their sons, not both, yeah.
Right.
So
yeah.
To me, that's harder than winning a basketball ring or whatever.
Yeah, agreed. You're right, and you should say it.
And I will say it loud. Put it on a shirt.
Yeah. My favorite part about it was, of course, like the first time I heard, when I heard like Larsa Pippen and Marcus Jordan, your brain is immediately like, how cute.
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen's daughter and Michael Jordan's son are dating. And then you find out the truth and you're like, wait, hold on. I need to do some math here.
It's way cooler than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how recent of a wife? Oh, in the 90s. Okay.
Yeah.
Like the... Got it.
The only one.
Yeah.
The original wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say, as someone who doesn't watch reality shows very often, and like hasn't consumed Housewives, my God, the actually episodes with you, Christina, and Izzy are like top 2. I think maybe behind New Dad episode, because I have a 2.5-year-old, so like a deep appreciation of like watching like them guess which is the real Cocomelon, because like, as someone who watches Baby John and Cocomelon and every other knockoff there is, like in my brain, I'm like, oh, I hate them so much as well. But yes, the passion on the actually couch for the Housewives episode. So good.
Thank you. Mike Trapp actually had to very politely tell us to shut the fuck up backstage because we were like wasting all of our energy. Because the second we all three see each other, it's sort of like you have to like pull like dogs in heat off of each other at the dog park, where it's like we will not stop talking about reality TV at each other, and we just get so excited because it's like meeting somebody who speaks the same language instant, and we're just on it. And Mike had to very sweetly be like, hey, this is awesome. Glenn, you go to hair. Christina, you go to makeup. Do not speak. Izzy, go back. Save it, please. I beg of you, save it for the show. Because we just will tire ourselves out. It's just so much fun. And we never get that you can't do it at work. You can't do it in meetings with normal people. So when, the Bravo people meet each other, it's like we found our people, and it's just nice, So.
Yeah. How did you get pulled into that circle of like Dropout Housewives specifically?
So I'm like, in terms of like the Dropout universe, I'm sort of like an early game like NPC who like you meet at like the very like I'm like I sort of know everybody. Like I'm like a deep entry in the lore. Like maybe not even like So I actually, the first person I ever met from the Dropout universe was Emily Axford. We like knew each other in college because we were like in similar, she was like a little bit ahead of me, but like we were both in like improv groups together that performed at like improv festivals together in college. So I met Emily like early on, just truly met her and was like every single person who meets her is like, oh, I'm in love with you. So cool, so nice, so wonderful, just the funniest person you'll ever meet in your damn life. And then I think the next person I met was Brennan, because we also were in like a weird college improv group. And then I moved to New York and then I met him. And so we met like probably when we were like 21 or 22. And then I like continued to meet, and then I think I met Izzy independent, like later on. And then I knew like Mike Trapp and stuff, and from also UCB stuff back in New York. That's sort of where I came up. And then I had written for Adam Ruins Everything. So that's how I met Sam. But also I was friends with Elaine, his wife, through UCB. We were on like an improv team together for a second. So like I have all these very like tenuous. And then they knew, I think all of them, that I liked reality TV. And I think Izzy maybe suggested me or something because we were friends at that point. And they were like, oh, we know this person who's also obsessed, who this is the only talent I have to offer Dropout is that I know a lot about reality TV. So that's how long story long.
Look, yeah. No, that is exactly what I need to get out of this interview. This is fantastic.
I just figure your listeners
yeah.
love the Dropout verse, and so like, how do I fit into that? And just that's I want to give the nitty gritty backstory.
I interview people who like paint miniatures for Dropout. Like nitty gritty is all we do here. Like they're talking
that.
brush size and paint type. Like, yeah. And a lot of times in those interviews, I also just kind of nod because I'm like, this is going to mean something to someone. Nothing to me, but it's going to mean something to someone.
Yeah, right. Like, and look, I am a person who gets really into the nitty gritty of something I'm very interested in. So I like, oh yeah, I want to know every single possible angle of this. And, so I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is going to be such a tangent and such a waste of time, but it's so funny to me, and I haven't told anyone the story. So I got to see Vic Michaelis came into town. I live in Austin for South by Southwest, and they put me on the guest list because, as I mentioned before we started recording, Vic and I have a podcast together. I don't really know what my life is anymore. Also, Vic is so nice that after I went to the show, like they put me and my wife on the guest list. We went to 2 shows. Then Vic texted me thanking me for coming. And I was like, that's not how this works at all. God. Like you did the favor for me, not the other way around. Like
Vic is so, I took independently of Dropout, I took a movie writing class with Vic like a long time ago. And God, their movie was so funny. And I like think about it sometimes and they're just so, God damn it. It's annoying how talented they are. Yeah. I don't like it.
So talented. Yeah. And so kind. That's the annoying part. Of just
like part. You don't need to be that nice.
Of yourself.
You don't need to be nice. Yeah. Stop it.
It was. I think we were we've recorded 7 times together. I think we were fully 4 or 5 episodes in before I was like, okay, I think we're actually friends, and it isn't just like Vic is so nice they won't say no to me.
Right? Yeah.
Every time I ask.
Yeah, because I could see that happening. That they nice themselves into things they can't get out.
Yeah. Yes. But so I'm Matt Besser was on. There is a connection here. It was Improv for Humans was one of the shows. ASCAT was the other. I lived in LA for about a year, adored UCB, like went all the time, and grew up, like one of the like formative comedy shows for me was UCB, the sketch show on Comedy Central. And one of my roommates, an old roommate, and I like really loved the show. And so I texted him because he had texted me, like he texts me anytime he's going to see like a good comedy show. And so I was like, oh, going to see like Matt Besser. And he wrote back, is that Adair? Question mark? And I was like, how is your memory for that? Because that was his character's name in the UCB show.
Oh my
that
gosh.
We have not watched in
30
years.
Yes, like their scripted,
like
yes.
Him, Amy Poehler. Yes,
with the eye patches and this. Sorry, there were like a couple TV shows. I think there was like a sketch show later on called like The Black Book or something like that. The original. Oh yeah. Oh my God. So God, what a good steel trap of a memory.
Yeah. Yes. And like my roommate has a flip phone, or my old roommate, we don't live together anymore. So he wasn't looking it up beforehand, right? Like he had that off the dome, like ready to go. I had to look it up to be like, what the fuck is he talking about? And I looked it up and was like, oh, Matt Besser played Adair on the original UCB show that there are like 30 episodes of 30 years ago.
Wait, so your roommate still has a flip phone?
Yeah.
That's so freeing.
Refuses to upgrade.
Oh my God, I wish. That's so nice.
It's annoying when I can't send him a picture, like, because I have to send a picture. I'll literally I text a picture to his wife and be like, hey, will you show your husband
That's so funny.
This picture? Because I can't send it to him.
That is one of the things that annoys me a little bit about like the Luddites, where I'm like, oh, I wish I could be you. But also like I have real world responsibilities where like someone who has a flip phone, now all you're doing is like outsourcing your tech labor to people around you. Like, oh, you have to look up where the restaurant is, or oh, you have to GPS the restaurant or whatever we're going. Like, it's So I'm like, would love to be that person, but you're sort of making everybody your technical assistants at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of like, hey, can I use your phone to set my fantasy football lineup because I can't do it from my flip phone?
Okay,
like that kind of thing happens.
If you have a flip phone, you're not allowed to do the Final Fantasy Online stuff. You're not allowed to do, or Football Fantasy. Yeah, you can't. No, you're not allowed.
Oh man. Yeah, all right, another Housewives question, because I got a bunch of them, and they're so much fun, and I don't understand any of them.
Wait,
Housewives of New York.
You've watched Housewives before, though? Like
I've seen
you've seen like the world. Like, is there a reason it's just like not interesting to you, or it's not like this is not like an attack, I promise. But like, I'm just trying, like,
no.
Like, yeah, I guess, like, why would somebody not? I'm always interested in why somebody would not be interested in watching Housewives.
So it's definitely for a long time, like, I don't want this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which, like, it coming from a very judgy place.
And
I fully admit I was wrong about that. Like absolutely, I was wrong. And now it's much more. We have a 2.5-year-old, so like our amount of television time is very limited.
Yeah.
So like, I have like two or three podcasts that I'm like really committed to, and then like I watch all Dropout content all week long, because if I don't, people will just message me spoilers. It's a great life, but like it's very weird. So yeah,
I feel like Dropout is kind of
now
like
there's just
Housewives.
too much for me.
Yeah. In a way,
everyone's
where it's like a group of people
connected.
Being real, and not really, but
everyone's married to each other.
It's true. Oh yeah, they're all married to each other. That's so funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your.
The audience. No, the audience has a deep parasocial relationship with both.
Yes,
I think it tracks on some levels.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. That's great.
But yeah, so now it's too much. I've been told Salt Lake City is where I should jump in, because it's so like contained, and like there's such a small amount that I can really sink my teeth into it. And that I have watched the clip of, God, I'll never be able to remember what she said, but it was like the rumors clip. The rumors, like however you think that should be spelled.
Oh, the rumors about her husband? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's also, I think,
like I said, I'm very online.
Yeah. Right. That's so funny, right? Because you know all the memes, and so if you were to watch the shows, you'd be like, oh, that's the meme. Salt Lake is a good one to start with if you because it's only like 4 or 5 seasons now, I think. So it's pretty. You could catch up pretty quick if you wanted.
Speaking of Salt Lake, were you happy with Angie K's addition, or should they have cast Angie Harrington and her messy husband instead?
Agreed. They should have cast Angie H instead. Angie K, I don't know why they cast her, because I thought she had like all this social political power in Utah, and she came in so beta. I was like, I thought you were the one who was like paying for everyone's parties, and like I was confused as to why Angie H was not cast. I thought they should have brought both of them on. I think it's crazy that they didn't. I think it's weird when you bring one new housewife in on her own. I think it's sort of unfair to watch. And also, like, I just think Angie H is better friends with them than Angie K is the vibe that I was getting. Like, I didn't get the vibe. That's the one thing that I dislike about the new New York, is that none of them were friends, really, like true friends before this. They like knew of each other, I guess. But the whole first season of this new New York is like them being like, so like, where'd you grow up? And it's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I want you guys to be screaming at each other from the gate, from the get. Like, I don't fucking care. And so they're like, well, my mom was mean to me when I was there, and they're like crying about their childhood trauma. And I'm like, that's fine, but like, it's all just introductions. Like, I want, at its core, the Housewives is about friendship. So that's sort of I thought they should have hired both Angies. And then it's fun because you get Angie and nobody knows who they're talking about. And her husband, God, the messy husband, what a missed opportunity to have like a new Joe Gorga on your hands, you know? I feel like this episode, I feel like my interview is going to be so boring to your fans who are like, Oh yeah, I don't know anything about the Housewives.
Oh
This sucks.
no. Now, people love excitement more than anything else.
Okay, that's
so like
good.
it's the same reason why people love the Housewives actually episodes, even the ones that like me who don't watch, is they're just like, these people care so much
Oh well, that's nice.
about
Okay.
a thing, and I am so excited to watch them care.
We really.
You know what reality show? Oh yes,
No.
go.
What
go,
were you
go.
gonna say? No, you go.
Entirely unrelated, so please continue your story.
Christina and Izzy and I really want to do, and now we'll probably, because Iffy's the new host, right?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to have to ask if we can do this, but we really want to do like a fake reunion version of actually, where we three get like full glam and show up and like do a show that's like rehashing the beef of the previous 2 episodes.
Incredible. Absolutely here for it. I'll text Iffy right now to tell him that we should do that.
Because he's the king now, and so he's in charge.
Yeah.
All
right.
Text him right now and see if he responds.
I'll pull my phone up so that you can
do it.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I'm on the horn with Glenn. You don't know who she is. I think you met a couple times. That's an idea for your show that you're in charge of now.
She has an idea for your show. Full glam reunion of the Housewives couch for season 10, rehashing last ep beef. Thoughts?
And it's just
question mark.
It's
Great.
funny to me. It's funny because we've only recorded 2 episodes of the actually. Why are there balloons happening? Why there just were balloons on my screen?
Oh,
Did you see that?
If you do this, I think balloons come up when you piece. Is it? Maybe not. Something happens. I know, like
confetti. Okay.
I know that's a thing that happens.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, I want to do like packages, like flashback packages to like just the very little amount of time that we've spent together in the past 2 episodes, like those like black and white, like sepia tone, like callbacks to like, that is not what I said. That is not what I said. Like just. God, and like truly use like the very important people, makeup artists who like full glam, like just pull my face back like I've had so much work done I can't even breathe. Glenn, you look like you've gotten
it would be so
in between
good.
seasons a little bit of work done. Yes, I have. Oh, I'd love that.
It would be incredible. I will say, I believe Iffy is currently on vacation in like a ski vacation based on his Instagram pictures, so he may not respond right away.
So we should probably call the ski lodge and tell him to, hey, can you get off the mountain real quick? Check your phone, because we have something really important to talk to you about.
We have very pressing information. If you could find a good Wi-Fi connection and just hop on to this interview so we could pitch this idea to you right now.
Get off the mountain. Get one of the St. Bernards to find him and get him off the mountain. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. This makes sense to me. God, I can't wait for him to see this unhinged text from me.
Absolutely unhinged.
The thing he definitely thought I would do when he gave me my phone, when he gave me his phone number a month ago.
That's his fault. That's absolutely his fault.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Sure, I was moderating the actually panel at PAX East, and he gave it to me so that we could communicate about like where things were going. But I think what he really wanted was after the panel had happened for me to text him ideas about actually season 10.
Absolutely. That's polite of you to assume that, because he was probably too nervous to say that to you, that he wanted you to communicate some of these crazy ideas. Yeah. What if you responded like on a plane home? Greatest idea I've ever heard. Thank you for texting me. Cutting my vacation short.
I mean, probably wouldn't cut his vacation short, but like I could see him being like, yeah, this is a great idea. We're going to do this. All right. I'm scrolling back to questions.
Oh, great.
Real Housewives of, let's say,
Oh
Beverly
wait,
Hills.
I
How
have a
sick of
question
the
for
Kyle
you.
Morgan storyline are you? Yes.
Oh wait,
Yes.
so you're a new dad, you said, sort of relatively, right?
Yes. Well,
So how's that been?
new-ish, two and a half. Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
This made me feel better.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Plug for the book.
Yeah, I asked
I
because I'm
did
truly obsessed
genuinely,
with
I
parenting.
genuinely cried at the end of this.
Did you? That's what
Yeah.
I wanted.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. No, I'm kidding.
I wasn't prepared for it because I had read like the New Moms one. A friend like got us all like we have several friends in our friend group like all got kind of pregnant around the same time.
Oh, that's nice.
And yeah, and so like someone gave like that book to every one of the new moms in our group,
That
and
is
like
so
that one didn't
sweet.
hit me like. Yeah, that one didn't hit me like the dad. The dad ones at the end, I was like, "Oh no, what's happening? Like, why am I crying? This was supposed to be funny."
Yeah. So that's sort of what I did with the books, where it's sort. I was the mom's book was sort of like sentimentality first, and then surprise you with like sometimes the book's a little funny. Like it's not like ha ha ha, oh my god, the Tonight Show like set like dying laughing, but it's like, you know, the mom's book is like emotions first, sentimentality first, and then the pill and the peanut butter is like, oh, it's sort of funny. Like there's a bad word every once in a while. And then with the dad's book, what I wanted to do is I wanted to go like, haha, look at these nerd references and like bad dads, da da da. And then the pill and the peanut butter. And this one was like, and then also, don't you love being a dad? And isn't it emotional? And aren't you worried that your children are da da da? And like, so surprising the dads with like a little bit of like, hey, guess what? You're a good dad. You should admit it. Da da da. Like, you know. So that was my goal, is to make dads cry.
Well, it worked.
Thank you. That's very sweet.
Mission accomplished. I wouldn't lie. I would say, look, if it didn't make me cry, I would have just been like, I really enjoyed the book, but it genuinely did, and I was mad about it.
I want to inspire anger. That's my main goal as an author, is to get people angry.
Mm-hmm. My wife and I went and saw Rachel Bloom's Death Let Me Do My Show. I don't know if you're familiar or have seen it yet.
I know her.
It's so good. So good. Yeah. So a lot of the show is about, she had a baby in late March 2020. So, you know.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, so easy.
Yeah. The fun times. Yeah. Super easy. And as you could probably guess by the name of the show, about like the death that surrounds the last 4 years. I will say her for anyone who hasn't seen the show, her child fine. So that's at least good baseline probably to cover. But it's one of those things like, as someone with a deep level of anxiety, and like a COVID baby, like my son was born in 2021. So like things were better, but not great. Like it hit me on a lot of levels of just like, okay. Yeah, no, I feel this. Yeah. So.
Wow.
But it's the best. Like, I love being a dad. It's so much fun. Like,
what's your kid like? What are they like?
He's so funny. So his name is Parker. Why am I going to try to point? I never can do this. It's behind me. There's a Spider-Man on my wall.
Totally wrong.
Yeah. Yep. But name for Peter Parker, Spider-Man, because this is a deeply nerdy household.
Oh, that's great.
And so, yeah. Speaking of things that made me cry, right before he was born, so he's born June 2021. It was like May 2021. I was in like a comic book club, which is hard to say, but it was a Daredevil book that we were reading, and there's a like Daredevil's like off the rails, like lost his like doing crazy stuff, and Spider-Man shows up and is like, hey man, you gotta quit or I'm gonna make you. And Daredevil's like, oh, if he's here and he says this, like then I'm really like in trouble. And there's a point where like Daredevil hears his heart, and he's like, it's the steady, like strongest heart imaginable. Like he's the, and like I'm sobbing while I'm reading this, and we've told no one what we're going to name him, because it's this like he's the best of us thing, and I'm just like, I really like that scene at the book club, and I can't be like, cause in a month my son is going to name this. Yeah.
This is sort of a sign that the name we picked was really good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really emotional.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you can see why your book got me.
Yeah. And then I also assume your son can like walk on walls and ceilings and stuff too, right?
Yeah,
and, like,
absolutely.
Can, like, lift
he does
cars.
like to touch the ceiling. He stands on my shoulders.
Mm-hmm. It's fun. Yep. Okay, so you're fun,
we've just been letting spiders bite him a lot.
Just.
Yeah.
One
of them's got to be the right one.
I know there's some explanation for it. I just watched Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Is that the second one?
Yeah, I think so.
The one, the newest one. And I was like, I know there's like a parallel universe explanation for this, and that's the whole reason. But I was like, you got to lock up your spiders. Too many spiders getting loose. You have to control your arachnids. After one, you should be like, no more.
Yeah. After one radioactive spider, you gotta be like, hey, we should stop doing this to these spiders.
Stop letting your spiders walk around Chernobyl. Stop. Put a caution sign around it. Please. Do you think there's ever... is this a joke that a spider gets bit by a radioactive human and becomes like worse at being a spider?
There absolutely is one.
There's got to be a comic about that, right?
No, there is fully a yeah.
That's so funny.
I think he's man spider. I think it's man spider. I'm also going to Google this now.
Great. And then now the spider just has to like do taxes and like go to work.
Yeah. Man spider. Oh, he's a villain? That's not nearly as much fun.
Oh, ew. I think he should just be like a Dilbert, sort of like going to work.
Yeah.
Where's my coffee? Don't talk to me till I've had my coffee. Yeah. I'm man spider.
His web curls up at the front of him.
Wait,
that's a solid Dilbert reference.
That's a good Dilbert reference. That's great. Wow. Okay, we got some Dilberts.
I do want it on the record. Not a fan of Dilbert or the creator. I want that officially on the record.
No, Dilbert is unfunny, and the man behind it is a bad person. Agreed. It is a joke reference. It is not a thing we are into. No.
Oh man. But my son, very funny, absolutely delightful. Is I think really smart, seems very smart, which is also very fun. But like terrifying. But like just doesn't miss stuff. So my wife was showing him a video from when I think it was a year ago. So he'd have been a year and a half. And it was we moved this past summer. So it was at our old house, and he has this like playhouse that is outside here, but was inside his room at the old house. And he sees that in the video and goes, "Why is my house in my room?" And my wife goes, "Oh, well, at the old house, your house was in your room." And he goes, "Can I bring my house in my room now?" Just like immediately like clocked that and was like, "No, I want that inside."
Whoa. Spatially, I don't know if I could put those things. I don't know if I could do what he's doing.
Yeah.
Wow, that is cool. Yeah, you're sort of fucked though, because if you have a smart kid,
it's very fun.
They're gonna learn too quick.
Yeah.
They're gonna get slippery.
Yep. Yeah. This was a while back, but it's one of my favorite things. So we had like because I work from home, so like this is where I'm always at. And I'd come out, and my wife and my son were playing on the couch. I sat down. He got mad and tried to push me off the couch, so I like hooked my arm around him and picked him up, and that made him way angrier. And so then very shortly after, he and I go for a walk, and he's in his stroller, and we're talking about whatever, and he says something about like that it made him mad when I picked him up. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I was playing. I'm sorry. And he said, Daddy, do you like me? And I like stopped the stroller and like got down on his level. And I was like, Bud, I love you more than anything in the world. And then he looked me right in the face and went, ah! So like incredible comedic timing. Like
That's
just like
so funny.
Fully.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Oh, do you like me?
We also did this very like, do you like me?
Devastating.
Like, not in any way, like not how I would like interpret that question. He's just like talking.
Yeah. So like good question.
Meant nothing to him. He just wanted to roar at me as soon as
he knew. He was like, come in close. I want to do something funny to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's another like very silly game we play. It doesn't make any sense, but like I'll build like a house on our couch out of pillows, and then he'll come in and I'll pretend to fall asleep on him, and then he'll go ding 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 like the doorbell's ringing. I open the door and no one's there, and then I turn around. I've gotten him to say I've been here the whole time because it's a Dropout household. And he obviously doesn't know why it's funny.
Yeah.
But he knows it makes me laugh. So now just periodically he'll go, I've been here the whole time. Just like, because he knows it will make me laugh. And I'm like, yeah, you get it.
Okay. Like, so he can commit to a bit.
But as some, yes, he can. And as someone who's committed to bits for 40 years, I'm like, oh boy, bud, you got a long life of chasing laughs ahead of you. Yeah.
It is really wild watching kids learn how to be funny in real time. Cause like my nieces are like doing this and like, they're like 4 and 5 and they'll say the funny thing that they're like, oh, my mom and dad love this. Oh, like Auntie Gigi like loves this. And they'll say it over and over again and it'll get diminishing returns as laughs, as things do.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be like, you can see the gears turning of like, oh, interesting. Why, when I say this 5 times in a row, is it like less funny? Interesting. And like, it's very fascinating watching like neural pathways be formed right in front of you.
Yeah. It's so bizarre. Like every time like he does anything, you're just like, how? Like the other day he said, it was another one where he said to my wife, he's like, do you like me? And my wife was like, yeah, I love you so much. And he goes, even though I'm cantankerous sometimes. And I was like, how do you know that word? And how did you use it correctly?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, your child might have been bit already by a radioactive spider because yes. He's really smart. Yeah. Cantankerous? That's a fun word for kids to say. Wow, holy crap.
It is very fun. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like a couple months ago, he said there was a bear on a roof, but currently he was at our front door. And we're like, you just locked down currently so correctly.
Wow,
like there isn't a bear in either of these places, but you use the words right, and it's very strange because you're not 3 yet.
Right.
So it is also terrifying because I'm like, oh, you're going to be smarter than me. And I don't like, that's fine. Very happy for you. But like at some point it's going to make like homework difficult because I'm not going to be able to answer your questions.
No, I see homework that like kids have these days. And like at some point I knew that I did know how to do this. I can't, there's not a chance in hell.
Yeah.
No. I don't even know. I don't know what a fraction is anymore. I forgot.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I should check. Did Iffy text back? No, he is not. Guessing he is currently skiing.
So we do need to go to the mountain. Warn him.
Yeah. We are going to have to fly to a mountain that I'm not sure which one it is. I don't know what state he's in.
We'll go to
I just have seen. Yeah.
Make sure.
Yeah. Look. You know enough people at Dropout that if you started texting people, someone would know where Iffy is at.
Someone would know. Yeah, I do know a lot of people at Dropout. Oh, well. Iffy, you can run, but you can't hide.
A reality show that I did love. Did you watch Joe Schmo from 25 years ago or
I
whatever
think
it was?
when it was first on, I watched some of it. I think I was a little too young to like be totally totally know what was going on, but I remember when it was on. And I remember I am not like a huge, despite some of my writing credits, I'm not like a huge prank person. So like so I remember it feeling, oh, this is I didn't have the word for it at the time, but I remember feeling like, whatever I felt the word gaslighting was, but didn't have the language for it at the time. I think I just was like, why?
Right.
Why are we lying to this man?
Yeah, he seems very nice. Yeah,
And I sort of still
the thing
feel that
about
way.
that show is I think about the way he said, "What is going on?"
Yes.
probably once a week, and have for fully 30 years. Just like it has entered my brain in a way that it will never leave. And when Jury Duty came out recently, and it was like people were comparing it, like it brought all of that back so much, and I was like, no, I was finally free of what is going on, and now it's back forever.
It's such an earworm the way he says it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, deeply upsetting. I don't know what the word for it would be. Okay. New Jersey.
Yes.
If Melissa and Teresa refuse to film together, why are they on the same show? How is this tenable?
That is very interesting. I'm excited to see the new season because Melissa said in an interview recently they barely filmed at all. So we'll see how that plays out. I mean, there's a similar dynamic going on at Potomac right now where Candace and Giselle almost won't film together exclusively. And it's sort of boring. It's sort of bad. I mean, they fight every once in a while, so you get a little bit of drama, but at some point I just want to be like, just talk to each other. Like, I don't know. I have yet to see. Sandoval and Ariana also like won't film together, but they are filming together, and so I don't know. There's a weird. I think part of the reason, at least I like the Housewives, is that one of the things is like it's a really good representation of forgiveness. Like you don't see forgiveness like this on television that often, and a lot of it's fake. A lot of it's like forgiveness so that you'll like get invited to their like jewelry release party or like their perfume launch or whatever the fuck they're doing. But it's rare to see like women fight as crazily as these women do and then say like, look, we're going to bury the hatchet. Let's just move on. We all want to move on. And then like an hour later, they're like getting drunk in Mexico together. So it's sort of a bummer when people just refuse to talk to each other because that's not what I want to see. I want to see the cycles of friendship. I want to see the suns rising and setting and with different, cycles of a relationship. And when somebody refuses to film, it's sort of like a bummer. So I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. I'm excited for the season though, because apparently Jacqueline or Danielle almost like got arrested for throwing a glass at somebody and busting their lip open. So I can't wait to see what that is all about. I don't like violence and I don't condone it, but I'm like, but if you filmed it, like, can we watch it?
I mean, if someone already filmed it, we might as well watch it.
Just sitting there,
it'd be a shame to like.
Come on.
Yeah.
I'll watch it if nobody else will.
Speaking of Sandoval, because I think this is the same one. I assume there's only one. I assume this is Vanderpump related because I have a question. James forgave Sandoval too quickly, right? Thinking of the timeline of when they were filming this was a few months after Sandoval happened and James was all over social media shitting on Tom. It just seems fast.
It does seem fast, but here's what I'll say. I've thought about this. It does seem fast. James and Lala, who are the people being accused of forgiving Sandoval too quickly, are the only sober addicts in the group who have like admitted to having a problem and who understand sort of like they've been the villains before. And I think they are the only two people who have like a true knowledge of what it feels like to be so villainized that you are like, I think they have more empathy towards him because they have done bad things and been like the hated person in the group. And so I think the reason they're forgiving him too quickly is because A, their memories just aren't that long. And also B, they know what it feels like to be ostracized. That's my theory. And also that Lala loves being on camera and James loves being on camera. And so they're like, yeah, we'll film with him. Sure, we'll get more screen time if we're with him. They know what makes good TV. Yeah. That's my theory.
Yeah, good for them. Yeah. Glenn, this has been absolutely amazing. We've hit the hour mark. This couldn't have been more fun. Everyone should go and buy Their Mom's Way Worse Than You and Their Dad's Way Worse Than You. I shook the wrong book at each time because I'm not mirrored in my thing. And I'm so used to like someone at one point I was recording with someone else, not for this, and they're like, hey, will you turn off your mirroring? And I was like, oh, okay. And now I have to look at my face the way that everyone sees my face and not the way that I see it in a mirror. And I hate it.
Really?
It's not that I hate my face. I just like, I'm just like, no, I'm not. Like every time I'm like, that's not how I look. And also like, obviously you get the moments where I'm like, let me point at the thing behind me. And I'm like, but it should be over this shoulder. Cause like, I should be pointing in a mirror.
Yes.
Anyway, and now I don't have to turn it back on because I'm bad at technology. Yeah, exactly. Available everywhere books are at. If you can, support your local bookstore, of course.
Yes, do that, please.
Yeah. And if the folks out there wanted to follow you on social media, where can they find your delightful presence?
I do so with caution. I'm so bad at it. But I basically only exist on Instagram. It's just at Glenn Boozan. That's sort of where it's just all like book stuff. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, look at my friend. It's not really, I'm not very active. But if you... Yeah. Thank you for having me on. This was like really lovely of you to ask.
Yeah. This was delightful. Look, so I will say, like, shout out to, you are at least active enough that I posted a picture with this on Instagram. It's like, hey, you want to do an interview? And you said yes immediately.
Yeah. Because I'm required to go on Instagram every day. Yeah. My publisher is like,
I just told Vic about that I was
did you?
I was like, yeah, I bought, as soon as I saw there was a new copy out, I bought it immediately so that I could take a picture with it and then ask Glenn to do an interview because I was like, this is going to work. And it did.
That's so nice. Oh, I mean, Honey Trap, I fell for it immediately. It was great. If anybody wants to talk to me, I'm available. I'll probably respond. I have very little going on right now these days. I'm excited when people like the book. My book isn't that famous? Is that popular? I look, a fan of me is a fan of you. It's all good.
This book went to a bunch of people then, and none of the person that bought this does not watch Dropout. So like didn't know you from Dropout, just like found the book and was like, oh, every new mom I know should have this book, and bought like 5 copies of it. That's too many. Bought 3 copies of it. But yeah.
That is very kind. I am always
I know how many children are in our friend group.
Yeah, right. I am always very grateful, and it is very nice when people say that. That's thank you.
Yeah. Vic called you a best-selling author. I assume it's true. It has to be. And if it's not, it's like best in like best space selling and not hyphenated. Like you're the best selling author. I don't know figures or anything. So we'll just end on that wildly note.
No, Vic, I want to clear Vic's name. Vic is not wrong. They are not spreading lies. Very sweet of them. The Mom's Way Worse was on the New York Times bestseller list, which was a very nice surprise. I don't know if you can tell. I'm very bad at promoting myself. I clearly have to like do very like even this is like my publishers were like, please tell people you have a book out and please promote it. And I'm like, okay, like I'm just not built for that. Like, so that's very kind of Vic to say and of you to have me on.
This is fantastic. If you're a dad, you have to read it. It's so good. It's funny, and will make you cry if you're watching this, because you're the same kind of dad that I am, like a good one that cares about their child. And then this is also very fun, and for all the moms out there, might not make you cry,
Well, moms will be
But,
crying already by the time they read the book, and hopefully the book will make you stop crying.
Yes.
But yeah, that's the mom's book. I wanted to make the mom stop crying. The dad's book, I wanted to make the dad start crying. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, no. Well, mission accomplished. All right.
Thank you.
Glenn, thank you so much. Here's the best part of this. I don't know how to end an interview, so I'm just going to hit stop recording.